is the behavior. So probably many of you know already what is the Behavior Forum, but for those who don't know, basically it's a platform made by scientists, for scientists, to discuss about animal behavior. So in this forum, you have the opportunity to discuss about anything you want about animal behavior and to mainly ask questions, but also answer based on your different skills. You will find guides, protocol, even news, some curated information, job opportunities, and also event, meeting, and training like this seminar. So this is how it looks like. Probably there will be some refactoring of categories soon. And as I said, it's for scientists by scientists. So if you have any suggestion and if you want to be part of the Behavior Forum, of the organization as well, you can apply and you can also go just to look at information in all the different categories. So one of the actions of the Behavior Forum is this online series about understanding behavior. This series will occur always on Thursday at 12:30, like now. If you want to apply or if you want to suggest some speaker about this, to present your work, or if you want to suggest speaker to present their work, you can register to a form that you will find on the forum. So you can go in the category of event and you will find Daniela made a post with inside the form where you can apply for that. You will also find more information on LinkedIn, so don't hesitate to follow us on the LinkedIn page of the Behavior Forum. So the talks will occur like that. Basically, before the talk, the week before, there is a topic open on the Behavior Forum, so you can discuss with the speaker who take time to reply to you. And then during the presentation, right after, there is discussion with the audience, so you can continue to ask questions, and even after, you can continue and go to the Behavior Forum to go deeper with more discussion and to stay connected with the speaker.
And so today we will host Balma Serrano. And Balma graduated with a bachelor in biotechnology at University of Valencia in Spain. And after, she moved to Barcelona to pursue her master in biomedicine. After a master, she joined the Brain Circuits and Behavior Lab that is hosted at IDIBAPS, a biomedical research institute in Barcelona, to do her PhD. And her research focuses on the circuit mechanisms that support the maintenance of decisions in short-term memory. And so she has been training mice in different behavioral paradigms to dissect their neural circuit dynamics during behavior. She has expertise on a wide range of techniques such as optogenetics, electrophysiology, pharmacology. She just defended her PhD, is looking for a postdoc. So grab her when you can. But today she will focus on presenting the Training Village, which is a very impressive open source platform for fully automated continuous rodent training, where animals can live in their own cages and still engage in cognitive demanding tasks. Balma, thank you once again for having accepted our invitation. It is a great pleasure to have you today at the Behavioral Workshop series. And I guess the floor is yours, so you can now share your screen.
Thanks a lot for the introduction and also for organizing this amazing community. Let's start with the Training Village. So as Daniela introduced, the Training Village is an open source platform to train rodents in complex cognitively demanding tasks. Can you see my screen?
Still not.
And the slides? Let me.
I want to remember everyone that at the end of the session, we'll have time for a discussion, and don't be shy. You can write your questions in the chat or at the Behavioral Forum directly. And now, Balma, now it's perfect. Okay. Thank you so much.
Cool. So I've been developing this system in collaboration with other lab members of the Brain Circuits and Behavior Lab. And I will organize this presentation in 3 parts. First of all, I will describe the hardware and software of the system. Then I will explain you how the animals use it. And finally, I will explore potential application of this system for anyone interested in using in their own research. So let's start. Let me move this bar because I cannot see my own slides. Okay, right now it's ready. So, behavioral neuroscience is moving towards automatic training. So, in the recent years, we can see that the number of publications on automatic behavioral training in rodents have grown significantly. Traditionally, behavioral experiments in rodents were done manually by researchers placing the animals inside an arena and interacting with them, providing rewards or moving some objects. This was extremely time consuming, and also it was very dependent on the researcher skills to train the animals and its subjective decision. In order to improve the reproducibility of this training, laboratories automatized the behavioral tasks and they were controlled by a computer. However, human presence was still needed as researchers have to place the animal inside, select the protocol, and wait until the animal finishes. In order to optimize this process, laboratories scaled up this data acquisition by training in parallel multiple animals. So they could reduce the researcher time, but the human presence was still required, possibly interacting with the animals, inducing some kind of stress. And additionally, in these high throughput systems, the maintenance, equipment, and space costs grow linearly with the number of setups that you build in parallel. So the novel home cage training systems overcome all of these previous limitations by training continuously the animals without human presence in their own home cage. So this increases a lot the animal welfare, and it's way more cost effective as one box is maximally used all the time. So we wanted to follow this trend in the Brain Circuits and Behavior Lab, and we wanted to build an automatic home cage training system that was specifically designed for cognitively demanding tasks. This type of tasks have a high translational validity, but the main problem is that animals take very long times to learn them, typically weeks or even months. So this is kind of time consuming and requires different training stages, increasing in complexity. So we wanted a system that was compatible with these features. And we also wanted a system that was very versatile and modular. So we wanted a system that could be worked around almost any existing behavioral paradigm. If we think about the currently available home cage training systems, they are typically designed to train animals for a single task. Or few of them, and in many occasions this training happens inside the home cage. So we wanted something more general that could be modular and adapted to different paradigms. And finally, we also wanted to have our animals group house preserving their social interactions. So we designed this training village that where animals live in a highly enriched environment in their home cages, and they are RFID tagged. And we have a corridor that connects these home cages with the operand box, and we ensure an individualized training of the animals by placing in the corridor 2 motorized doors, also a radio frequency sensor, and a video analysis system. So when the animals access the operand box, they train individually, and this operand box is pretty flexible, so it can host multiple behavioral paradigms. To motivate the animals to perform the task without completely water depriving them, we provide them free access to water with a bitter taste containing a low percentage of citric acid. in their home cages, and inside the behavioral box, we give them sucrose water, and this is enough to motivate them to access. Here I'm showing you a 3D render of how the system looks like. So let's talk now about the software. The Raspberry Pi is the system that is we are running the training village, and this allows an individualized training of the animals by a state machine that I'm gonna explain now. First of all, the system is waiting for the animals to access the corridor. And when one animal is detected in the corridor, if there are no other animals trying to enter, the system loads the corresponding training parameters for this specific animal. For example, task number A in stage 1. And then the door opens and the animal is allowed to start the task. We are currently using Bpod as an acquisition system for the task, but we are also working on making the training village compatible with other acquisition systems like Arduino or Harp. So when the animals finish the task, the door opens, they are allowed to exit, and their training parameters are updated based on the performance in the last session, and all the data is stored and backed up in a hard drive or external server. And the system is again ready to host another animal. So here there is a video where you can see that the animals are group housed. They are in these highly enriched environments with connected home cages, and whenever they want, they can cross the corridor and access the operand box. And in this case, this subject is doing a visuospatial task where they have to chase this light. And he has done a correct trial, so he's receiving reward. And whenever the task is finished, the door opens, he's allowed to come back with his peers in the home cage. And importantly, the door would only open if one subject is trying to enter at a time. So importantly, this system is designed to be controlled remotely. So we have access at any time. Let me change the. Oh my God, sorry. So we have access at any time to this system. I want to show you the GUI, but I don't know why now I can't change my pointer. Give me 1 second. I don't know how to change the pointer. Okay, so 1 second again. Now, so I'm gonna show you how the graphical user interface looks like. We have access again at any time remotely. So here I'm connecting to a training village that is currently working in Barcelona, and you can see this graphical user interface that has multiple tabs, and we can enter in the monitor. So now we see one animal training. Here we have the camera of the corridor.
Balma.
We
Yeah.
cannot see your GUI. Maybe you are not in the GUI.
Okay. Because maybe I'm just sharing the technical problems. 1 second. I'm gonna try to share the whole screen.
Thank you.
Sorry.
No worries.
Let's see if now we are successful. Okay. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect.
So this is the GUI. We have different tabs on the top, and we can monitor what is happening at any time. So now we have an animal here in the corridor, and we have a behavioral box. We have also quick access buttons like open or close the door. And we also have plots about the behavior of the animals. And we can also see the last events of the system. So this graphical user interface is pretty user-friendly and has a lot of features to have a quick access and understanding what is happening in the training village. Apart from this remote access, the training village also has an alarm system that runs on Telegram. So at any moment, researchers can receive alarms about what's happening in the system. So, for example, here I'm showing you a chat with this Telegram bot, and it's triggering some alarms, like, for example, the camera is not responding, or one animal promoted from stage to stage, and multiple things that can go wrong. We can have a tracking and be aware very easily of what's going on. We can also interact with this Telegram bot, and we can write some prompts, and we can have access to what's going on, basically. So we have this strong remote control. As I already mentioned, the system is modular and it's compatible with multiple tasks, and importantly, is open source. So we have all the documentation in a Git repository, and I will share the link at the end of the presentation for anyone interested. So I have described how the system works, but let's see now how are the animals using it. So in this raster plot, I'm showing the activity of the animals in the system for the first 8 days of training. And every row represents a subject, and the vertical rectangles represent the behavioral sessions inside the box. The dots represent the detections of the animal in the corridor. And what you can see in this plot is that animals distribute pretty well their entrances during the day and night in dark, and also among them. In this plot on the right part, I'm showing you the average occupancy per subject in the system for the whole duration of the experiment, not just these 8 first days. And we see that they kind of very similarly enter in the operand box. The uniform distribution is indicated with this vertical line. And what we can also see is that animals progress very efficiently to these different training stages that are represented in different colors, and each individual progresses at their own pace. So there are animals that are faster, and the system allows them to progress faster, and others are slower. Additionally, when plotting the total occupancy of the behavioral box, we can see that the box is very well and efficiently used. Around 80% of the time is occupied, and slightly a bit more during the night. You may wonder now how many animals the training village can host. So during my time in the lab, we have been training multiple cohorts of animals with different group sizes. And as expected, when we put a larger group size, the operand box is way more efficiently used. But there is a point in which it kind of saturates around 10, 11 animals. It doesn't increase that much the occupancy. And on the other hand, the number of sessions that one animal can do per day can be reduced with larger group sizes, because maybe one animal wants to enter to the operand box, there is another peer training. So these plots are kind of complementary. This number of sessions decreases with the group size, and the operand box occupancy increase. So we have to find a balance. And I would recommend that around 10 animals, you have a very good efficiency of the box usage with a decent amount of sessions per day. So I have explained you what's happening in the corridor and how I show you that animals are actually accessing the operand box, but what are they actually doing inside? Are they engaged during doing the task and accurate, or when they are inside they just go to a corner and sleep? Before showing you these results, let me briefly explain you the tasks that we have been testing in the lab. We use 3 different tasks spanning different cognitive functions and varying in the level of complexity and the sensory modality. So we have this first task, is a delay response task with. Are you hearing me well?
I think there was a break, at least on my side. I don't know if I
Yeah.
was the problem, but probably the last 15 seconds.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it was common. I was also
Okay.
not hearing.
Okay,
No,
so
it's fine.
I just quickly repeat the task, the first task that I was describing. So in this task, animals are required to look at a touch screen where a stimulus is displayed, and they have to maintain where the stimulus was displayed in their short-term memory and run to the position that they thought that the stimulus was presented and not touch. If they touch correctly, they receive a water reward. So this is one type of task. Then we also train animals in a more canonical decision-making task, is this perceptual discrimination task with 2 choices where the animals have to distinguish which of the 2 stimuli is brighter or louder, depending on the sensory modality, and they have to poke in the corresponding port. And finally, we train animals in this foraging task, where they have to keep track of the reward probabilities in the previous trials. So there is no stimuli, and the probability of reward for the 2 ports are complementary, and they change in blocks. So coming back to the question of what are the animals doing inside the task, I'm showing here a session of one animal, and you can see the number of trials accumulated over the session time, and we can clearly see 2 types of behavior. We see these epochs where in green, where the animal is doing trials very fast, and then we see these other epochs in purple where the animal kind of takes a break, doesn't do any trial for a while, and then kind of re-engages again. This is something that happens in every session. The break epochs can be more frequent or longer, but this varies. But we always distinguish these 2 engage and disengage epochs. So we wanted to know the fraction of time that our animals were spending in each of these 2 states. And we observed that actually the majority of the time, above 60%, the animals are engaged doing the task. And this engagement increases with the trial, with the training. So when animals are trained for longer times, this fraction of trials engaged increase. And importantly, this engagement measure that we quantified based on the trial duration correlates with the animal's performance doing the task. We can see that in engaged epochs, the accuracy is higher. So I hope I convince you that animals inside the task are doing it in an engaged way and in an accurate way. But you may wonder, what's the difference between training these animals with a training village or manually placing them and waiting for 1 hour outside? So here you have the comparison. When we train animals automatically, they typically do less trials per session, but as they do more sessions per day, typically between 2 and 3, the total number of trials per day is comparable between the automatic and manual training. And importantly, the accuracy is slightly higher with the automatic training. So this demonstrates that the training village is a valid system to train the animals in these complex tasks. Another important feature that I want to highlight of the system is that it's well suited for these longitudinal experiments. The system is very robust and stable, so we can have it working for months. And here I'm showing you an example of a group of animals, of 12 animals that were trained in the same setup for a whole year. And the accuracy of these animals after the learning period was very stable and even improved a little bit for the difficult trials. And as the box was very efficiently occupied, around 80% of the time, the number of trials that we accumulated at the end of this experiment was huge, around almost 1 million trials. So the training village is perfect to generate these large and robust data sets. And finally, I would like to also talk about this component of the training village, as we have our animals living in the home cages, and home cages are connected with the operand box. We can also address what's happening in the home cages and see how this home cage behavior correlates with task performance. So in this experiment, what we did was to collaborate with the EcoHub team, and we placed these radio frequency sensors in the tubes connecting the different home cages. We placed different elements in each home cage. So we placed tubes and running wheels for animals to play in one box. Then in another box, we placed nesting material for the animals to sleep. Another box had the food, and the box that granted access to the operand chamber was empty. And with these radio frequency sensors, we could infer where was each animal in which box at a given time point. So when analyzing the activity of these animals in the home cages, we could observe that they were very active. They were constantly changing across boxes. You see these different colors, and especially during the night, as expected. During the day, they prefer to stay in this blue. They had these long periods in the blue box. This is the one that has the nesting material, so they are probably sleeping. And we next wonder, okay, but what's the home cage behavior that are animals doing immediately before and after the task? So we selected the task periods, and we just check each home cage occupancy 5 minutes before and 5 minutes after. So what we observe is that the occupancy of the nesting box was significantly higher before training. So animals are typically sleeping, they wake up, they go to this task access box because it's a little bit also higher. And then after training, it looks like they go to the food cage probably to eat. So this is just one simple question of the multiple that we can ask with this system that allows to find correlations between home cage activity and task performance and vice versa. So as the main conclusion, the training village is a powerful system to train rodents in complex cognitive tasks, and it allows to generate very high quality large data sets. There are many potential applications of this system. I would like to briefly highlight some of them. We can use this system for testing subjects in multi-animal tasks where they can compete or cooperate for resources. We can also try to address questions about how the social interactions in the home cages affect animals' cognitive abilities. The training village is also very useful for these longitudinal experiments such as pharmacological testing or aging. And finally, another powerful use of this system is to combine it with optogenetics or fiber photometry. So we can have 24/7 behavior, but also neural recordings or manipulations. So if you are interested in the system, please contact me. We are looking for beta testers. And finally, I would like to thank everyone in the Brain Circuits and Behavior Lab, especially Rafa, Jaime, Javi, and Hernando, that have been very involved in the development of the training village, the Animal Minds Lab for their amazing adaptation to rats, and the EcoHub team. If you want more information about the system, here you can find the webpage link where you have all the information about the system. And thank you, everyone, for your attention.
Thank you, Balma. Maybe I think I'm trying to share my screen now.
Okay,
Very quickly.
1 second. I'm gonna stop. Yeah.
No worries. It's just to say thank you. That was an amazing amount of work and a beautiful presentation. So just for everyone to know, we will take questions from live and from the behavioral forum. We will stop the recording, and this talk will be available in our YouTube channel after. So if you still